Parliamentarian Caucus organised an international workshop on legislation for women's rights and empowerment. More in the following report by Annum Abbasi.
The Women's Parliamentary Caucus, led by MNA Dr. Shahida Rahmani, hosted an international workshop titled Advancing Gender Equality in Legislation, a workshop on gender-sensitive legislative drafting. The two-day workshop was being held to convene experts, policymakers and legislators from Commonwealth parliamentarians to foster dialogue and collaboration on embedding gender equity into legislative processes. Speaking to PTV World, the ex-Minister for Ombudsman Kashmala Tariq said,
"Today we've gathered here in PIPS for this international conference of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association and Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, and the idea was to share best practices and international legal framework. And delegates from this region, Asia region, they have gathered together, and we discussed all the legislation, the best practices for empowerment of women, emancipation of women, how we can improve their lives."
The organizer of the workshop, Shahida Rahmani, Secretary WPC, spoke to PTV World.
Women Parliamentary Caucus Advancing Gender Equality in Legislation, a workshop on gender-sensitive legislative drafting. This is the first time Pakistan is holding such a workshop. With delegates from Sri Lanka, Maldives, and Nigeria, chairperson of Commonwealth.
The Secretary Legislation of Sri Lanka told PTV World about the highlights of the workshop.
We are going to discuss issues that are related to gender legislation, especially looking at the international standards and the legal framework on pro-women legislation. We are equally going to look at the best practices from the different countries in the region.
It's very educative, especially as women politicians, as women parliamentarians, to know to some extent, I think women across the board, we all have the same issues. You know, whether it's Pakistan, whether it's Maldives, we all have the same issues when it comes to gender violence and also domestic violence, and also generally issues relating to women. And our main focus is how to introduce legislation so that women's rights are ensured in society.
Women empowerment, harassment at workplace, gender equity are the topics which have been discussed for over a decade. It is about time to bring serious legislative reforms in the country through collaboration with different countries who are suffering from the same problems. Reporting for PTV World, this is Annum Abbasi.